All right. Welcome one, welcome all. Oh man. All right, we're live. There's actually people up. Hello. Hi.
Yeah, what's up, everybody?
All right. Well, hello. In case you are confused and wondering who I am, my name is Antonio Bryce. I am the creator of the comic book series Brand, which is actually shutting down in 14 days. So we got 14 more days to back Brand. We are nearly at $77,000. So that's less than $200 last I checked. So that's awesome. And if you go to the Indiegogo link, which is in the description there, you can also find a link for the first 21 pages of Brand, which you can read for free. Yeah, get in, dive in. If you like it, throw some shekels in there. But there's also another link in the description. And that is why this gentleman is here with me today. It's for a project called the Oswald Chronicles. It looks pretty cool. So please give a warm Akari Press welcome to JD Calderon. How are you, sir?
I'm good, man. How you been, Antonio?
Chilling, man. I'm here. Life is good.
That's good.
But welcome. So since you are a creator and that's one thing I like when I bring you guys on. All the projects are all different. It's not like I'm not featuring 1,000 GI Joe clones or whatever, So it's like it's always interesting to see the different type of books that everyone is creating out here in the community.
Oh yeah, I mean, it's funny because I see a lot of focus currently on like superhero comics and that sort of thing. I've always been into fantasy type style works, which is a little bit rarer on I guess in comics, and especially the stuff that I'm doing, like the Oswald Chronicles, features a mouse, and basically the byline on that sort of thing on the particular series is, what if the greatest sorcerer of our time was reborn in the body of a mouse? So that's
interesting.
Okay. Exactly. That's what it is. And he straddles two worlds. He straddles the regular world, which is, one inhabited by normal animals and humans and that sort of thing, and the Fae, which are the fairies, and their world, and a more magical world. So he sits in between these two worlds. So that's the angle that I took for this story. And, it just exploded from there. It's something I've been working on for a long time. And I just want to really just share it out with as many people as I can get it out to.
Okay. So you say a long time, and like I actually like to go over the journey because for me, my book Brand, it started in 1998. That's when I still have my original notebook with the notes for Brand in it. And someone asked me would I sell it, and I was like, no, this is where the idea for Brand came from, because I knew I can only describe it as I believe I had an epiphany. Right. And it was just so much so that I actually wrote the date down. It was I actually have I can't remember the exact date, but it was June of 1998. Wow. But in the book, it actually has, I wrote down the exact date because I knew, I was like, I just came up with something that changed my life. And then 18 years passed. And then I was like, I still hadn't, I'd been like writing notes on it and coming up with I've got a bunch of stories that I was writing, but I never took them to that next level. Mm-hmm. And then in 2016, my mother passed.
Oh, wow.
Sorry. And so, yeah, well, see, when that happened, I was like, you know what? I ain't getting no younger. I'm already in my 40s and stuff like that. I was like, you know what? Maybe I need to get to creating.
It's time to jump on it.
No. So that's when I started, looking at artists. I know I have written things. I've written, I've blogged a lot. I'd been a blogger and stuff like that. And I had a couple things that got published like that. But I had never created a comic before. So then I started contacting comic writers, and I was like, maybe you can take my horrible idea and turn it into like comic book form. And I was like, I'll hire all the team, and I don't have that much money, but I'll figure out. They say everybody crowdfund. You can just crowdfund it. And they made it sound like it was just a simple thing that anyone can crowdfund. That's not true.
Not easy. Not easy.
as this is my actual third attempt, because the first two times I launched Brand, they failed miserably.
Right, okay.
And so I just happened to have struck lightning in a bottle this third go round. But yeah, trust me, there's so much from the beginning steps to getting to where I am now. And so that's why, like I say, you've been working on this a long time. So kind of go back to the beginning and
all right. So
let us know your story.
We're going to go back a little bit. So my first printed comic I did in 91, 92.
Oh, wow.
And I was working with a group of guys and my wife, who you saw momentarily. She's actually an artist. She does a book we do together called Tall Tales. And once in a while, she'll do some illustrations for the Oswald Chronicles. But we did a book called Revelations. And then the problem we had at the time is that we were very young. We were 18, 19 years old. Some cases, I think one of us was 16. And we were producing...
Yeah, I was 16 in 91. That's what I was like. You said I was like, I was 16 years old. That's when I started reading Bone. That's what I was I was just Smith Bone. I was like,
we were young. So I'm old, but we started at that time. But we were doing annuals. We did it for about 3 years, and it just wasn't sustainable. A bunch of us had to move on, get work. One of my artists, Matt Lunsford, went on to get professional work. He started working at CPM Comics. And I remember when he first started doing it, it was for adult comics. He was doing, it was the X-rated comics. It was a gig, it was money, and then I remember when he first told me that, I just looked out my nose. I was like, oh my God, how dare you even bring that into my presence? 6 months later, he says, listen, he says, they're looking for a writer. And I was like, sure. So I jumped in. I interviewed and I did the work. It also led into us doing Tenchi Muyo. We did 6 issues of that. I don't know if you remember the anime from back in the day.
And I was like, that sounds familiar. I was like, I remember that. I was like, okay.
Yeah, we did Tenchi Muyo. I did 1 issue of was it Ixer 3? Because CPM, they were just too cheap to get the good one, which was Ixer 1. So they got Ixer 3, which was little sister. Again, it's an older anime. And then we also did Phantom Quest Corps, which is, again, another older anime. And we did one of those. So I worked for a few years professionally like that. I did that for about 3 or 4 years. Found out I actually hated it. That's why I never pursued a career in writing. Because I don't like pitching. I hate pitching. I don't like sitting there and writing out something for an editor for like 2 or 3 days, or if not a week, handing it to them and then them looking at you like, oh, I'll get back to you. Thanks, great. I rather just work on my own stuff. That's how the Oswald Chronicles came about. Because, all right, I would write a 4-issue limited series, and that would take me, I don't know, maybe 3 weeks. Whereas the artist would be working on it for 6 months. So in between that time, I had space. So I started working on the Oswald Chronicles, and I was like, okay, let me work on this. And that's how I developed. And then probably about 10 years ago, now, my initial run was all in prose. So it was just all words, no pictures. I would get some of my artists to just do illustrations for them, and that was cool. And then I met someone online. Her name was Jade Gonzalez. I met her on DeviantArt. And we got together, and she gave me a price. And she was just like, listen, this is what I charge for comic pages. And at the time, I had a little bit of a windfall in cash. And I was like, okay, you know what, let's do this. I always wanted to do one. And we've been doing it ever since. I think we're up to about 1,000 pages of content.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So, I mean, for me.
Was this like webcomic stuff, or were you actually able to print these?
Oh, no. Well, some of it's printed. Some of it hasn't been printed. So I'm working my way through the catalog. So what I'm doing now is I'm working my way through it as just comic books. So we're just doing anywhere from 24 to 40 page, pamphlet style books, 2 staples, that sort of thing. And then sometime next year, we'll probably work into like doing trades and stuff. But I'm playing a long game. So, we're doing black and white. Then eventually we'll move into color and so on and so forth.
Well, the reason I asked you is, a few months ago, I had Jason Brubaker on.
Oh, okay.
And, he had worked at DreamWorks and, had done some stuff at New Line. I know he'd worked on, he had done like storyboards for like the Blade movies and Kung Fu Panda over at DreamWorks and Captain Underpants, all these different movies.
Yeah.
And, even worked on Deuce Bigelow, Male Gigolo, which I had to rib him a little bit about that. Although he told a pretty funny story. He was telling me about Rob Snyder and was not the nicest guy, apparently. Kind of a jerk. But I mean, hey, what are you going to do? But he was telling me, about his project Sithra, which was, he's got a bunch of these web comic things up. And so he just basically took all that content and he has volumes and volumes of it, and he's able to, so he finally's got the crowdfund up for the last, for issue 5 and 6, big, thick, hardbound books. This is already created content and he takes it and go, oh, I can probably color that a little bit, go back in and remaster it. Oh, let me fix the lettering on these pages. I thought that was a cool idea because the content's already there. So you don't have as much work. So I was like, if you already had this stuff already created, then that's awesome. But
Yeah. I mean, that's basically the route we're working because I've been producing as a webcomic. And what I basically do is I break up the pages. So if you have a full sheet, you basically have a 9-panel grid. So each line is one day. So we'll break it up like that. So currently the story that's running now in comic pages is 224 pages. Okay. But when I break it up, it's almost 1,000. So it's enough content for almost 3.5 years on the website because we release Monday through Friday and we take off the weekends. But literally for the next 3 months, don't mind me, my parakeets are going crazy.
Yeah, I hear, but
it's like I just can't avoid them. I tried to do this downstairs, but of course my laptop was like, no, not today.
My brother keeps those in his home, and sometimes I'll be talking to him on the phone. But the kids love them. What are you gonna do?
Exactly. Yeah, but it's one of these things. We have all this content, so we just want to put it out. I just my whole thing is just trying to get it out to as many people as possible and just getting the story complete because I have an ending for the story, and that's my whole thing. I'm just trying to get it to that point. That's the one thing that I see a lot of creators, they start stuff but they don't finish it. That's why I appreciate something like you just mentioned, Bone, where he actually completed. Yeah. That, and that's not easy. Dave Sim with that 300th issue, that's not easy. When those guys get to those points, and I think everyone should, if you're creating something, Superman, creating Batman and Superman, I mean, should that really be your point, to create a character that's just endless and it'll go on forever and ever and ever?
If you have good ideas.
Yeah.
Yes. Something that's where my issue is. It's just like someone asked me, they said, well, how long are you going to be writing Brand? What's the end of it? And I was like, I have ends to story arcs. Right. I have ends to the story arcs, but I will continue writing Brand for as long as people are willing to purchase it.
Exactly. That makes sense.
And I have a good idea.
Right.
Once you have an idea and nobody's really rocking with it, you'd be like, okay.
Exactly, but that makes a lot of sense because you already have that arc, and that arc could be 4 issues, that arc could be 6 issues, that arc could be 12 issues, it could be 18 issues, it could be 36 issues. You know what I mean? I mean, you can work however you need to work within that spectrum. But unfortunately, what I see is a lot of people they just start and they don't ever plan for any kind of ending of anything. They just.
I know exactly how this first story arc is supposed to end. It's probably going to take. At first I thought I could do it in 1 issue, and it was just so much material. I was like, no, this is way too big, and I condensed it. Like my first crowdfund on Indiegogo, I was selling a 100-page graphic novel. And I looked at it and I was like, well, maybe if I can get the first story arc in 100 pages. And I look back on that now, just on the follow-up sequel that I'm writing now, Way of the Gun. It's just no way I would be. I was like, I probably just to get to the ending that I came up with when I originally conceived a Brand, it's going to take more than 100 pages.
Right.
So it's going to be, but I know exactly because I've said this a few times. the story has a finale in Las Vegas. It's like there's going to be like a big battle and they're going to go in Vegas and blah, 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 things happen and yada, yada, yada. We're ending. I know I've always known that. So I was like, how do I get my two characters to meet each other, get married, fall in love, and end up in Vegas for the final battle? Right. That's always been the goal, but it's getting there is yes, that's
yeah. Sometimes it's easier to start, sometimes it's easier to finish. Got those two things worked out, right? And then you're like, oh man, I got all this space in the middle. What am I gonna do?
And this is actually a good question that I could ask you. This microaggressor asked, do I have an editor on branding? Yes, I do. You've probably seen her. Her name is Amanda J. Lamella, Lightning fan. And yeah, she is an outstanding editor. And actually, if you've read the preview, her name is, in the credits right there. You'll see it. So yeah, I do have an editor. Do you have an editor on the Oswald Chronicles?
I work with a copy editor. I don't necessarily work with an editor, meaning he doesn't influence my story. He crosses my I's and dots my T's and make sure my commas are in the right place, because I have a continuous war with commas. We just don't agree where they belong. Well,
yeah, okay. Now I'm glad you said that, because I remember when I submitted the original pages, but we were really rushing. We were a little behind on the deadline to get the, because I wanted all the art in, I wanted everything colored, I wanted letters on everything, but before you get to the lettering stage, you have to actually have the editor. So send the script to Amanda, and she's reading. She's like, okay, you need to do this. This needs to change. And I was looking at, I was like, I don't want to change that. What do you and she's giving me all this. Okay, this here, this doesn't make sense. Maybe if you change this or this, that. And I was like, okay. That's a good point. I don't agree with that. And so I think we have a rhythm now, because she's had some really good insights. I think you're too married to the work.
Right. Yeah.
And so it's good to have someone that comes in fresh and, I'm like, it's just, it's nice to have frex eyes on it. Hold on. Let me see.
And I'm sure after that first edit, there's always like a gut punch.
Yeah, well, like I said, most of the stuff she changed was just typos, correcting grammar. But there are, but she started realizing some of the grammar that I was using is supposed to, it's supposed to just be like slang, broken English type something, that kind of thing. Because I was like, I don't want everything to be perfect, proper English. Certain characters are real prim and proper.
Right.
Antonio Vargas, David's handler. He's kind of he's a priest. He's a real proper, prim and proper type. David's living in this big mansion, but that dude's from the gutter. I literally based his whole life on, except for the beekeeping and the superpowers and stuff, he's me. That's why he looks like me. The character looks like me. And so his whole life, he's just a dude from the streets. He's been poor all his life, and now he's got this big, but he's still the same guy. He's still the same guy, except he's not human anymore, and things, his whole life is different. But to the world around him, he's still the same guy, even though his whole life has been changed for 20 years. To him, he's still the same person. He still talks the same. The food still tastes the same. He just still likes going, and he might go get a bucket of chicken from Dodge's or something, just something wherever, he's just a regular meat and potatoes type of guy.
Right. Still playing video games, still watching cartoons.
Yeah. He's just a regular guy. First Comics has a comment for you. Said, let's see. Hello, Antonio. JD, the first few paragraphs of your Indiegogo are repeated.
Oh, sorry about that. I'll go fix that.
Yeah. Dude, that was a man. And that's when you can tell. Some people was like, why would they tell you that? And I'm like, no, I want people to tell me stuff like that, because one, that means they care. They care about your project.
Yep.
I've had people email me and go, hey, in this third paragraph here, on the page, you misspelled this word or whatever, like that. And so I'm like, okay, cool. When we go back in, I can fix that. You know what I'm saying? And then that's that. I want that. It's like that, because people, potential backers are reading that. So yeah, you definitely want to go back in and correct it.
Oh yeah, what's funny is like some earlier printings, I do everything digital. So we're going, everything's POD. So what I do with the books that I'm currently offering is they're limited edition. So they're either one of 250 or one of 500 copies. Now what I do is I print them in pieces, POD, and then I number them. And I have a list of all the numbers or whatever, so to make sure, just to keep track of them. But sometimes, I'll catch an error and I'll fix the file, and I'll go in, I say, oh, damn, this is okay. And I'll, mess around with it, and literally sometimes it'll just be a space between two words and I'll just fix that. And then I send the printer a new file. I say, okay.
You definitely should. The reason I say that is I was reading an article on George R.R. Martin, right. And they're going back and finding mistakes from Game of Thrones books he wrote like 23 years ago or whatever. And then when they do the updated edition, they correct those things. Mm-hmm. There was something about the eye colors or something that all these fans were nitpicking. And so like they went back in, they just like, hey, completely remove that. Like it's confusing people. They went in and chopped, he like in one part of the book, the horse's sex is female and then it was male. They went back in and changed, because it was just like, he's got like two people that have, they're supposed to be like interns, editors and stuff. I think he's like done a couple of Game of Thrones side books with them where they've got all the characters and everything. Because there's the wiki of Ice and Fire, and when you go on there is so much game. I've gone on there and I was like, oh, I'll just check this out for a second, and it's like 8 hours later I'm still going. I mean, you can literally go on that website and it like from the current monarchy. It will trace all the way back at least to Aegon's conquest, which was apparently at least 3 centuries before.
Right. Yeah. No, my copy editor, Steve Roman, he's told me he works professionally as a copy editor. And he says they've reprinted books by Robert E. Howard. And you can see like they have the old book and they have all of these little Post-it notes in there. And you can see and he says, those are all corrections. He says every page has a correction. And this is a book that's been reprinted 4 or 5 times. And he says, you just got to go through it. And every single time you're going to find something different. And it's crazy, every single time. So that's why I think the constant grind of just trying to fix it and fix it and fix it, you're never really done.
Yeah, that's the thing, because I've already got plans. So like I want to get this entire first story arc done, and then I want to put it out again in like a collected full trade paperback. I want the entire thing. Not to mention we're doing black and white editions. That's something else I'm going to do. So I really, I've got plans for that, and then hopefully we can move to the next story arc. And it's like I got so much. I'm like, I need to clone Kanan so we can get like maybe 2 or 3 books out or something. Like, if that would work, but no.
So I mean, like the current story. So the book you're releasing now is the first issue.
Yes.
And how many issues are you looking? You're looking at 6 issues, 4 issues?
It originally, like I said, it was going to be just one big issue, but it just was too. It's way too big. It's because it's like this first issue is part of the first story arc, which was just the main brand story arc. It's supposed to introduce Dawn and David together. Like I said, they become a couple. Things happen. Big Vegas ending. Boom. Everything. Boom. And then by the end of it, because I've said this isn't actually a spoiler, and not to mention by the time I get to it, it's going to take forever. But she's supposed to be pregnant with their first child. Okay. I've shown concept art of the children because they've got the faces of my nephews and stuff. Like they've got a son and a daughter, and the son is going to be my oldest nephew, Trevon, and then their daughter Rose is going to be my niece Naomi. So it's like, and I've shown, because my niece was like completely blown away when she saw that I had Kanan draw her as this character. She was like, and then everybody's freaking out. So I was like, yeah, but the first, I had, it was brand was supposed to be a trilogy. It's supposed to be book 1, and then it was supposed to be the second story arc is the Judas Crown story arc, which I'll tease a little bit as we go along in the stories. And then the final story arc, which was supposed to end the trilogy, is called Revelations. Right. So it was it's supposed to be there, but I'm like, I can't, I'd probably need like 300 pages to do the first story arc.
Yeah.
So 300 pages just to get that, and then move into the Judas Crown. And then after I got through with the trilogy, I was going to start breaking everybody off. I was going to have Dawn do solo stories, like where David is just like a sidekick character. I'd have some of the other characters do, and that was the plan. And it's still the plan. I mean, I'm just in my 40s. I can do that, but
yeah,
God,
we got time.
I've got time. So, but yeah, it's bigger than what, especially when I had brought in 2 writers. The first was, I worked with the first one. Me and him talked on the phone a couple of times. I talked to him on the phone for like 30, 40 minutes. Okay. We were having these long conversations. I was explaining. He's like, "You've got notes?" I was like, "Dude, I got so many notes." He's like, "Send me whatever you got." I said, "You don't understand. I have so many notes. Whatever you give me," he said, "whatever you got, shoot it over." I started looking. Some things were just in paper form, so I had to type. And I started email. He said, "Just keep sending stuff till you run out." I sent him everything I had. He said, "Oh my God, you can like tell me what these guys have for breakfast and stuff." And I'm like, that's exactly my point.
Right.
These characters are like real characters to me. I created them, and they feel like real people. Like I know this is going to sound crazy, but sometimes I'll wake up and I'll look over on the side of me and expect Dawn to be laying in the bed next to me because she feels like a real person. She feels. I've lived with this woman for 20 years in my mind. I know how she thinks, and I know all the mischief she's going to cause. And, she's a little crazy redheaded woman with just a rebel spirit, and just, she really does feel like a real, genuine person. So when he started reading this, he said, "Man, I don't know." He said, "This is big." And I was like, that's what I said. That's just the first story arc.
Right.
We haven't gotten into Judas Crown and all these other stories. And he was like, "Well, okay." He said, "Well, if it's successful, you can obviously crowdfund another book," which is obviously what we're going to do with, Way of the Gun. So he said, "You can just keep crowdfunding." He said, "As long as people are buying them, you can do it. And then you can get the whole story." He said, "Don't compromise." Cause I was like, I need to cut this out. Maybe we can cut this. I was like, it's kind of like when I hear George Lucas talk about how Star Wars, because everybody's like, why did you have to go back and create those prequels and all? And he came up with this huge story, and he was like, "I'm never going to be able to film this. So let me take the heart of the story." Because like Chewbacca wasn't supposed to even come in until like that Battle of Endor that we saw on that was supposed to be the Wookiees.
Yeah.
Like all that thing, so he just started, he was like, "Okay, I like this character. So instead of introducing them on Endor, or maybe even Kashyyyk didn't exist at that time, because, but he was like, okay, well, he's the co-pilot.
Right.
Because I like the character." So he just
bored of it. It's just
so I don't want to take pieces of my story and then go, okay, well, I probably won't be able to put that in. So I just want to use this character. It's a fun character. So I'll just take that. And but obviously I'm glad he did Chewbacca because I love Chewie.
Yeah.
And all that kind of thing. But, at that same point in time, the crowdfunding has allowed me to tell whatever anyone says about Brand, it's my story. This is the story I'm telling.
Right. The story you set out to tell, which is fantastic. I mean, what's funny is with the Oswald Chronicles, let me ask you a question. Here's one. Brand, are you starting it from the beginning? I'm starting
it, originally I started it right at present day. Because it was just supposed to be, and I can tell you exactly how Brand was supposed to begin. You had David, and he was on top of a building with penance, and they were about to go in, and there was a priest that was molesting children, and they were going to go in and take him out. Right. That was how Brand was supposed to begin. That's how it was supposed to begin. And then he was going to stumble into Dawn. Dawn was going to be like getting roughed up or something. He was going to interfere when they weren't supposed to, and he was going to, he was going to end up meeting, he's going to end up meeting this woman. And then somehow he ends up meeting her again, and such. That was how it was supposed to go down, because he was supposed to be he's supposed to be this stone cold killer, but he's working for God. It's supposed to be that. I mean, I would describe David as like a sociopath in some. He can pretend. You know how Dexter. I don't know if you ever watched the show. Dexter, okay, well, you know how his father Harry
taught him how to fake it.
Yeah, that was the whole point, because he started realizing, he was like, you aren't normal. You have to learn to pretend. That's how David is. David's like that.
Right.
David's like, it's a lot of, it's like, oh, hey, great. He like a lot of David is pretense. When we actually get into David and we see how he is, you're gonna just see that he's very violent but him being a hunter allows him to take that aggression out. So he's like, oh, there's a werewolf. I get to hurt him. Yeah. He likes hurting people. It's like he enjoys it. But it's focused rage, because the things that he's stopping would, if he didn't stop them, they would harm hundreds of people, and maybe a witch's coven would open a portal and release all these demons and stuff. So he gets to kill all these people. He's stopping them from hurting good folks. Right.
So release that rage.
Yeah, so that's what, and I always like that aspect about Dexter, where he's a serial killer, but he's been trained to hunt bad guys.
Right, he's been trained to kill other serial killers. So the moral conundrum is he a bad guy? Right? Because he's obviously morally ambiguous, right? So you don't know exactly where he sits. Would he become like a regular serial killer if he didn't have this training from his dad? Right?
That's what I'm saying. I always love that aspect of it. So, when I conceived of Brand, it was the same way. I was like, I've told this story 100 times. I was living with my mom. I was like 24, I think. So, I was living with my mom, and we were in this old house. It was built like in the 30s, and it had one of those old basin, big bathtubs with the, old school, kind of like in Training Day, where, they was like, yo, Holmes, get in this tub so I can, that's why they were putting them in this old tub. It was a big, because we didn't have a shower in the house, and I'm a big dude, so they had, I was kind of irritated that we didn't have a shower, but it had this big bathtub. So, me being a big baby, I would fill up my little bubble bath, would soak in the tub, and I would just relax. And when I would relax, this is when the ideas would come to me. It would flow out. I would just be relaxing. And so I watched, before I got in the tub, maybe a few days before, HBO had released the Iceman tapes about Richard Kuklinski, the Mafia hitman.
I don't think I ever watched those.
Oh, dude, they got clips of it on YouTube. It's
okay.
I'm like, I don't know if stuff like that fascinates you. They did a movie. I can't remember the guy. What's his name? Michael something. The guy that was Zod in Man of Steel.
Oh yeah.
He played Richard Kuklinski in the movie. He was badass. And but I watched it. He was great in that. But the real Iceman, the real Richard Kuklinski. Another thing about Richard Kuklinski is Stone Cold Steve Austin based the Stone Cold character on Richard Kuklinski. That was something else. Yeah, he said that he wanted the Stone Cold character to be kind of like a badass, because originally Stone Cold was he's supposed to be a heel, and then the fans loved him so much they were like, we want the fans to boo Austin, and then they were just like, we love him, and then so obviously he had to become a kind of a tweener babyface type character. So, but he was supposed to be a lot harder. And that was the way Steve Austin came up with it. He was like, I saw the Iceman tapes, and I had watched it, so I knew exactly. I was like, man, I watched the Iceman tapes. I knew when you hear him. That's why HBO did like 2-3 specials with him, because this dude's got like triple life in prison. He killed so many people, and when he just sits there, and when the guy interviews him about murdering all these people, there's no remorse. There's nothing. There's no human compassion.
Yeah, I think one of the I don't know if it was him or another guy from the mob. He was like, "Look, I wasn't killing innocent people.
I would go around.
Yeah, there's nobody innocent. It's that these people murdered other people. Those are people I was trying to kill.
These are guys that robbed somebody. They took, all these guys were in the game. They did dirt. you know?
Exactly. There's nobody was innocent. I wasn't killing mom and pop down the block. No. These guys that murdered other people, those are the people I was sent out to kill.
Yeah, he's a non hitman, you know, and they decide that this guy, I think this guy might be talking to the feds.
Yeah.
Why don't you go pay him a visit? You know, that kind of thing, you know.
Yeah, go get
it. He talked about it like it was breathing.
Yeah.
And when we get into David's character, when people start to realize what he is and stuff like that, that's how it's going to be for him. This is just a job. He's like, I've killed so many things. You know, it is what it is.
Yeah.
And he sleeps. You know, it'd be like it's not like he's a guy, you know, sleeping and just having a, you know, oh man, I'm such a horrible person. Oh
right.
my God. You know,
he's not doing a lot of navel gazing.
Yeah. He'll go out and, you know, like there's a big brutal scene in this first book where, you know, they're breaking up some weird illegal magic activities,
right?
But they go in and they just go hard. There's no taking anybody alive. There's no prisoners.
Yeah,
and they go in and they just, you know, you just see there's blood. There's a lot of violence going on.
Yeah.
And he just goes on about his life. You know,
it's funny because, like, in the Oswald Chronicles, Oswald hits a certain point, right, in the very beginning. Like, these stories that I'm telling now initially, these stories are just the beginning of his life. So it's like him developing into what he's going to become. He runs into some children who are in some trouble. They have a magical item. They don't know what it is. He gets a hold of it and it automatically activates because he is a conduit for magic. So whenever he grabs something that's magical, it'll just start working for him. So this thing is called an Imaginarium stone. And what this stone is it literally is like the essence of a human, of a person. Like, any hope you have in your past or your future is literally taken out of you, put into this stone, and a sorcerer can use that power to create reality, to recreate reality. So none of these kids, they don't know how to use it. Oswald grabs it and he's just able to wield the power. So but he doesn't know what he's doing. He just has a natural affinity for it. And the funny thing about it is, since he's a mouse, I treat it so that mice mature, I guess, what is it? I think it's 3 months from pup to adult, right?
Oh, wow.
So he matures at that rate. So he goes from just being a kid to being an adult very fast. And he matures at that rate. So he's able to overcome these things very quickly. You know, whereas, you know, like, it doesn't, like, sometimes you'll have a maturation of a character who'll take, you know, maybe 12 issues. But in this thing, he goes from being, like, I guess, a kid to being an adolescent. You know what I mean? He goes from being like 10 years old to maybe being 18 years old by the end of the story, you know, and the story just develops along those lines where he matures very quickly into a sorcerer, but it's probably going to take 2 or 3 years to get to that point, you know? So it's one of those things a little strange. I mean, I don't know how you working with your characters.
Well, it's funny. Perth Comics in the chat is going, I swear I can hear mice. They're not mice, they're birds.
Yeah, they're birds. They're my birds. They're like all over the place. I have an African gray and 2 parakeets. You know, and then whenever I start talking, they're just like, oh, it's time to play. All right.
Okay. Well, I have your book pulled up right here on the screen. I want people to see it. And so this is the Oswald Chronicles. The link, of course, is in the description there.
Right.
Let me see. Hopefully let me make sure I have, let me check my chat and see if I have some mods in there. Because sometimes people, they'll be like, where's the link? And I was like, it's in the description. They were like, can you put it in the thing? And I'm like, okay, so let me see. Right. I know maybe perhaps Perth. Okay, so I do have one mod. Let me put Perth. I'm going to make you a mod. And let me see. And you guys can drop the link in the chat so that for the Oswald Chronicles, please. And you have been wrenched, sir. So there you go. Hopefully enjoy it and enjoy your He-Man like power. And So let me see here. Okay, so we've got you pulled up. This is the Oswald Chronicles. When did you launch the campaign?
Probably I did a 60-day campaign because what's funny is I'm trying to get it to roll. It was all right. So I've done 14 Kickstarters.
Oh wow. Okay.
Yeah. So I've done 14, all of them successful, but all of them on like the lower end. You know, I'm generating usually between $1,500 and $3,000 between each campaign.
Yeah, I didn't have much luck on Kickstarter. I had more, although, like I said, the first Indiegogo I raised, what I did is I did Indiegogo, then I did Kickstarter, and I came back to Indiegogo.
Right.
So, yeah, the first one raised $95 on Indiegogo.
Oh, okay. Well,
yeah. See, yeah. And then and that was 60 days. I ran it 60 days, too.
Yeah, that's what I'm doing this one for, 60 days. And I did that primarily for tax seasons. Because I don't want to, if I get it before December 31st, I have to pay the taxes on it, and I'm not going to be able to dispense the money. Whereas this will roll into January, so I'll be able to dispense that cash, and I'll be able to just, you know, because I pay everything out. Any money I get, it goes right out to the artist. I don't get it. I don't personally, I see none of it. I just give it right out to the artist. It gets paid out to Jade Gonzalez. She's the artist. If you scroll, you'll see some of the alternative covers I'm offering, and that's illustrated. Like this is Jade Gonzalez and David Montoya who did the colors. If you look on the side there, you'll see. I
see your man got a bow tie. Are they like kind of semi-human, like Secret of Nim, where they like having conversations with each other and stuff?
Actually, no. He's the only mouse who can read or speak or talk. So,
wow, okay,
he's a pure anomaly. He's like the fae or the fairies. They're like, what the hell are you? You know, animals are not supposed to talk because animals are just animals. So to them, at first they mistake him for a changeling. They just think he's one of them who just turned into a mouse and he's just acting all weird. So he's like, no, I'm a mouse. You know, and they're like, that's not possible. So yeah, that's part of the story. This image you're looking at there, that's done by Donnie, and I'm not going to try to pronounce his name because I always brutalize it. and it was colored by Carlos Alberto Moreno. Awesome.
Beautiful piece, nicely colored. Well, Donnie Hadewada Jaja. Okay, yeah. Chocolata Yaya.
Right. Donnie's good. So yeah, but Donnie illustrated it, and Carlos did. He did the colors on that. So I just thought when I saw Carlos's stuff on DeviantArt, I was like, you know what? Let me pair him up, and I was like, and he knocked it out of the park.
And yes, Bianca, it is bird. Everybody keeps hearing the birds. Yeah. I was like, yes, he has birds. We've established that he is a bird owner. And I also hear he owns a few slaves. I'm trying to talk him into releasing them.
Just the cat.
Oh, just the cat. So, okay, so is the book in? I see you got the grayscale going on here. Is the book?
Yeah. The book is currently in black and white. What's funny is whatever money I'm generating now is going to coloring. Is going into coloring.
Okay.
Yeah, like I said, whatever money I get in, I put it right back into the project. I don't see any of it. That's what I have a day job for.
I hear you, brother.
Yeah, and this is basically him going through his little life. You can see where, you know, like he's not even getting along with his own brethren. He's fighting the other mice, and then he meets this little girl, Sally. You know, and she
he can talk though, like he'd be able to talk to, say, Sally or whatever.
Yes, he can speak. He learned through watching television, but she's the one that actually teaches him how to read. She teaches him mathematics. She's the one that gives him the bow tie. She's the one that gives him his name. So yeah, then that's, you know, this cover here is done by Jade Gonzalez and is also colored by her. And then this cover is
I love this. This is great.
Yeah, that's Donnie's.
Let me see. Yeah, man, I love it. Okay, so yeah, man, I'm really feeling that. And then this is the opening page to the second issue. I like this art style here. This always kind of gives me kind of a pulp comic-y feel.
Yeah,
this is the type of books that I obviously I enjoyed superhero type stuff as well, but I like fantasy stories. Yeah.
What's funny is she's from Chile, right? So I met her online. I met her through DeviantArt, and she's Chilean, and her influences are European comics. So you're looking at stuff like Tintin and manga. And you can see both of those influences in her work.
Mm.
What's hilarious is one of the things you hardly ever see in either of those comics or medium, well, the way they do books, is splash pages. So it's for me to get her to do a splash page, I have to be very specific. I'm like, look, I want a splash page. She rarely, if ever, does them on her own. And this is also by Donnie, the one you're scrolling through right there.
Yeah, I'm digging this. Okay.
Yeah.
This is cool, man.
Thank you.
Yeah, I like this. All right. So interior pages look really cool.
Yeah.
And because like I said, I used to read like Gru the Wanderer was at Sergio Aragonés.
Oh yeah.
Man, I'd love to talk to him. It would be fun as fuck. Is he still with us? I think he's still.
Yeah, he's still around. He's still around.
I was like, okay. I was like, I'd love to talk to him, because I read so much of his stuff in Mad Magazine back in the day.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, Gru the Wanderer, Gru. I mean, it was a Gru and Cerebus.
Cerebus,
yeah, Cerebus, definitely Cerebus, and then obviously
stuff like Bone.
Oh, so yeah, so the fact that like I said, it took me 6 months, but I managed to get Jeff Smith to come on this channel and have a hour-long conversation with me, which was awesome. And and cool. I got to talk to him a little bit before we went on the air, and got to talk to him after. And then he sent me like the full color hardbound collected edition of the entire run of Bone, and he drew Bone, Phone Bone in there for me. It was so cool, man. Yeah, I love that dude. He was awesome. It's just like I say, I said this before. Some people say don't ever meet your heroes, and this was someone, definitely someone that I've been reading since I was like 16 years old, and just understand how much I love Bone, and it was such a epic influence on me, and be able to have a conversation with him, and being able to talk to people like him and Steve Englehart and Nascenti, people that I've worshiped their work. I was like, I couldn't believe when I got Ann Nascenti to come on. I was like, how did I talk Ann Nascenti into coming on the show?
Yeah, I mean, wow, yeah. I haven't read her stuff since Daredevil.
Yeah, but that's the thing, she was on Daredevil for almost 5 years, and the whole thing. But she's incredible. She's an incredible talent, and
I think the only person I met Walter Simonson, and for me, he's a huge influence on me and my work.
His Thor.
Yep, Thor.
He's got that Ragnarok. Well, I can't remember. Is it Dark Horse putting that out? Somebody's putting that out. The Ragnarok. IDW's putting it out. Okay, because I mean, he's been. It looks, it looks really good. It's like it doesn't look like rushed work. No. It looks like he was really. It's everything that he's tweeted out, the pages and stuff. They all look really good. It looks like he, because the reason that I kind of thought about that is because Billy Tucci is friends with George Perez, and which I got to get Billy Tucci on because I got to send Billy another email and see can we work that out. But George announced some months ago he's having some health issues, and that he was going to hang this comic book thing up. So I understand, a lot of sad fans that enjoyed his Titans work and Avengers and all the different things that he's done over, Wonder Woman and just hundreds and hundreds of books. But, I know Billy reached out to him and he was like, yo, hey, George, I know you retired. Would you possibly do a She cover for me? And he did,
Okay, well, that's cool.
And he talked George into doing so. Right. Yeah, he had like 4 or 5 different variants. I had She Return to Warrior, which is on Indiegogo and on Kickstarter. He's like almost at $60,000 between the two campaigns. I know he's like 30. He's almost at $40,000 on Kickstarter. I know he was at about 16,000 on Indiegogo. So he's definitely got some fans on. But I mean, the fact that you raised 15,000, anybody laughing at 15,000, and which I suspect the good thing about Indiegogo is they let you just put it in store mode and do all this, But he's only it's a short campaign. It's only going to run for 21 days and get it out there. And not to mention Billy was such a he's such a good guy, and he's allowing me to use She for a variant cover on the next campaign. So You know, I was like, yeah, I've definitely, I want to talk to him before that campaign is, because not to mention, I just want to pick his brain because I used to read She back in the day. Yeah. So yeah, I had all the, you know, the bad girls, Lady Death, She, Vampirella. I used to read all that stuff. So I've got, okay, so I've got your perks pulled up here. Now, one thing I would tell you that I always tell people when they come on and I look at their campaigns, somewhere on here, you need one of the perks, whichever perk out of here that you think is your best perk, you need to have it as your featured perk.
Oh, okay.
And, you know, that's the, you know, that's the one, you know, so whichever one, I don't know which one you think out of all your perks, which one you was like, if I'm just a new reader or whatever, and I show up at this page, which perk would you recommend that I get?
For me, probably the alternative covers, the 3. There you go, that one. So it's all 3 covers.
Alternative covers level 1.
Yep, level 1.
Okay, so when we get off the air, what I want you to do is go into your control panel and make this perk your featured perk, so that when someone goes to your page, bam, it'll have that nice little highlight on it. It'll put it right there at the top. So that new backers can go up there and they'll check it out. So this is the one, because you've got, let me see, you got 3, looks like 3 digital perks up here. Yeah, PDF level 1 for 10, PDF level 2, 15, and PDF level 3. And what am I getting with these different backer levels? Okay,
so PDF level, let's see, 1 will just give you the 3 issues. So you get issues 1 through 3. PDF level 2 will give you the same 3 issues, plus it'll give you, I think there's a graphic novel I released, and I think 2 prose stories books that are going with it. So you're going to get a lot of content in there. So it's probably about 200 or 300 pages worth of stuff you'll be getting in there. And then PDF level 3 just has even more content. That's probably, I think, another graphic novel and probably another 2 books. So there's just a lot of content in there. So if you want to know about Oswald, because the thing is one of the things I didn't say earlier is, like, when I first started Oswald, I didn't start in the beginning. I started somewhere in the middle, and then I started the beginning later. So I have a lot of stories that work out from the center all the way out in both directions. And a lot of those are in prose, and I just have them all up. And, you know, so it's one of these things where I'm literally working from the beginning now to the end.
I got you. Okay, so then... Okay, so this is the books level 1. This is the one you said would be the one you would recommend people. It's got all your different variant covers and all that.
Actually, it's the one before this. After this, this is the books level 1. This one I actually ran through.
Oh, the alternative. Okay, I got you.
Right. This one I actually ran through. It's already been through Kickstarter. This is limited edition. It's a limit of 250 copies. I think I only have about. All right, I have 75 here. That's
you got 75 on the thing. Yeah,
that's probably about what I got left of them. And then once that's done, that's it. I won't be reproducing them in that format ever again.
I got you. Okay, so these are the ones that 3. So it's 3 separate issues.
Yeah, it's issues 1, 2, and 3.
Oh, okay, awesome. Okay, and then you've got the alternative covers level 1.
Right.
So obviously 3 different covers, but they're all the same issue. This issue that you're promoting now, right?
Right. Well, this is issues 1, 2, and 3. But
this is issues 1, 2, and 3 as well.
Yeah, this is issues 1, 2, and 3 as well. Yeah. So you got 3 issues there going on.
Okay. So let me ask you this, because I'm a dummy.
No, it's okay.
This particular campaign isn't promoting just one book; it's promoting all 3.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. I thought this was different. Okay. So, because you say you had funded those other books, so you're just obviously moving over to Indiegogo from Kickstarter or whatever.
Exactly. Well, actually, my idea is, because what it is, okay, on Kickstarter, I have a certain level of fans. I don't have a lot of them, but I got about 60, 70 dedicated fans. Whenever I put something up, they'll come in and they'll buy it. What I'm hoping to do is to the people that literally don't like buying from Kickstarter. So I was just kind of hoping to expand over to Indiegogo and see if I can get a different group of fans and just do the same thing. So basically that's what this is. So it's just me just trying to find, like, a different crowd to get in with.
Now, your alternative covers package, you've only got 350 of those, and you get how big is the comic? By how many pages?
The first issue is, I believe, 28, and then the other two are 32 pages each.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so you get all three of these comics. Are you signing them, or are you just shipping them, or what are you doing?
It's signed and numbered. Everything's signed and numbered. Yeah.
Ooh, okay. Let's see here. So yeah, you only got 350 out for grab. I see some people have snatched those up already. Yes, only $26. What's your shipping running like on that?
No, that's it. 26 includes shipping.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. In the US.
Just in the US. Okay. I was like, yeah.
International does, it gets a little pricey because it's international, it's always expensive.
All right. So the Virgin covers level 1. I thought about doing a Virgin cover, and because I bought a few Virgin covers and I love them. Doesn't have the trade dress on there.
Yeah,
and you can just see the art. I love those. But let me see. So you got all three covers again.
Right.
Virgin variants, $52. Surprisingly, no one has snatched those up yet.
Yeah. Well, here's the funniest thing. Like, I started this campaign and I've barely done any real promotion on it. Like, you're the second interview I've done. Like I said, I'm as negligent of a creator as you can get when it comes down to self-promotion. It's one of
surprised how often I hear that.
Yeah, I know. I'm just trying to break out of this shell. It's like I was on an interview last week and I was like, look, I'm in the woods. You know what I mean? I cannot see the tree. I'm deep in the woods. But what I'm trying to do is just get away from that and just trying to share it out with people. And actually with this level, you get the 3 Virgin covers and you get the 3 regular covers. So you're not just getting you're getting both.
So wait a minute, you'd be getting 6 issues with this for the $52.
Exactly. Yep.
Oh wow. See, I didn't even know that. That's why I was like, okay. So you get the Virgins plus the 3 regular, all $52, and it's still free shipping. US anyway. Okay, man. Yeah. Okay, see, that's what I'm telling you. See, that's why I'm glad. That's why I asked the questions. Okay, the alternative Virgin covers,
right?
Same deal.
Same deal.
$52, and then you get the. Wait a minute, Mike. I don't know if you'd be able to give them the regular variant covers.
Right, you'd get the 3 regular variant covers and the 3 variant Virgin covers. So
wow. Okay. Yeah. Because I was like, sometimes that's the thing. I know when we do the next one, there'll be some kind of limited variant covers that you won't be able to get outside of.
Yeah. I try to make it a little special because at least these are things that they're limited edition. You're never gonna ever see them again. Once I run them, they're done. That's it. I won't be reproducing them.
Let's see. Okay, the sketch cover books. Okay, tell me about those. 135.
All right. Yeah. So you'll get the 3 issues. You'll get 3 sketch covers plus the 3 regular issues. And what these are basically, Daphne, my wife, she goes on and she's the one that does the sketch covers. She does an original illustration on each cover. And these, like I said, I've done 14 Kickstarters, and these actually go very well on there. We usually end up selling out because I try not to break her hand. I think one time I did 10 and we sold all 10 and she had to do 30 of these things. And she was like, I'm going to kill you. She was going to take me all month to do all these. So I try to just keep it to, 4 or 5. This one we did 5.
Yeah. I see you got 5 of them. And I'm assuming these 2 sketches, these are examples of her work.
Yes. These are 2 that went out to fans a while ago.
All right. Awesome. Okay. So that's all your perk levels.
Yeah.
All right. So, hey, book looks good. I think, and it's not overly priced, and you got digital tiers in case anybody just wants to just peep them out. That's really cool, man. So wait a minute. So let me ask you this: with the digital tier, which is only $10,
right?
You get all 3 PDFs for that, or no?
Yeah. You get all 3.
I'm like, you can't beat that, man.
Yeah.
I mean, throw in $10. If you just want to throw in $10, man, you can't beat that. Man, that's beautiful, man.
It's funny because I hear a lot of people they say stuff like, "Oh, I don't want to do digital," because
Well,
they're afraid
trust
of.
me, I've been told that I have ruined my business by offering digital. I do think on the next book I probably won't have a digital tier, but no one knew who I was, and so releasing the preview and all that kind of stuff, it definitely, I saw a huge sale jump.
Right.
Sales went, it's like almost $6,000. I was like, oh wow, look at that.
The thing with digital, as a creator and as a business person, right? All you have to do is upload a file, and you're not paying anything. There's no printers, there's no shipping, there's nothing like that. So you ask me, would I rather sell 1,000 books or 1,000 digital files? I know what my answer is. I'd rather sell 1,000 digital files because, like I said, I'm just gonna upload it to my website, say have at it, and I'll send everybody their links and say have at it, guys. You know what I mean? Whereas if I had to get physical books, I got to get them, I got to pack them, I got to ship them out, create the labels, so on and so forth. There's a lot of extra work with but the thing is what I don't think people understand is if people want to digitize your work, they're going to.
Yeah. Some of the books that have come out in the last few months, so some of these crowdfunded books have been scanned and they've ended up, it happens. That's what it is. It was so funny. I had somebody and they sent me a DM and they felt kind of guilty,
right?
Because they read the preview and they hadn't bought the book. Like, Antonio, I saw you were sharing this link, and I didn't pay for your book, but I read it anyway. And I was like, it's supposed to be read.
Exactly.
That was the whole point. But they thought they were stealing from me. But I thought it was kind of cool that they admitted to me. They were like, I liked your book though. I just didn't buy it. It's just I was laughing. I'm like, you're supposed to. I'm like, share it with other people. If you liked it, share. It's meant to be because we specific. That was one of the things I made sure when we went through the digital. I was like, make sure it's got all my social medias, it's got contact information. I made sure it was set up in a way so as it spread out there. How many people have contacted me through that? I was like, I'm just over to put out about 2 months ago, and I've heard from so many people. Just because they looked in there, hey, I saw this in your I saw you got a YouTube in your little PDF. They come to my YouTube channel.
Right.
That's why I'm like, we set it up. Like this is chess, not checkers. I didn't, and it worked the way it was supposed to work. It was like, and I hope people will continue spreading that around and letting people read it. That's because it's meant to be read. That's the whole point of it. Whether you paid for it or not, it was meant to. But like I said, the next book, I guess I'll let the pirate people handle that.
Right.
I'll let. But this first issue, now that we're wrapping it up and it's almost done, while we're waiting on them to come back for print so we can actually start shipping books out. I was like, hey. We had a digital tier on there, but I was like, the people that bought the physical copies, they've been waiting for a while. I'd like to give them the PDF to read. And I got so much shit for saying that, I was like, yeah, you pay for the book.
Right.
I was like, I'll wait until the physical comes. I was like, okay. But then I got a bunch of backers that emailed me and said, hey, don't listen to those guys. I want the book. Give me the PDF. I was like, yeah, I have been waiting for a while. Let me read it. I want to read it. And then when you ship me my copy, I'll get it. So I'm like, I don't know. There needs to be a balance because like I said, one person isn't speaking for the 2,400 people that backed this project. So I need to get a bigger sample size. But right now, let me have the PDFs are definitely way in the lead because it's like 3-1. They're like, yeah, I want the PDF because we've been waiting. And but some people are like, no, I don't want the PDF. I want to wait till I actually get the physical book. But those people, like I said, they're not speaking for the collective. That's why, maybe I thought maybe I need to do a poll or something. I need to do send out a backer update and send a poll out. Let the backers vote.
Right. Yeah.
Let them do you actually want do you want the PDF? Or do you want to just wait till I ship them? Because I've got almost 200 people that bought digital copies anyway, and I have to fulfill those.
Right, of course.
So if I'm going to fulfill to them, then I might as well let the people that bought physical copies read it as well.
Right, of course, that's only fair.
Yeah, but like I said, some people like you're scamming the backers. I was like, I don't know, because well, this gentleman was upset because he said I bought the actual physical copy, and then so I didn't ruin my physical copy. I bought the digital.
Right.
Now you're telling me because I bought the physical book that you're just going to give it to me.
Oh, I got you.
And I was like, well, everybody that bought the physical ones didn't buy. Because like I said, I've only sold 180. Well, no, I sold a couple more. But a few days ago, it was at 184.
Right.
We're still not at 200 on digital. So it's less than 200 out of the over 2,400 people that backed the book.
Right.
Are going to get digital copies. But so the other 2,200 people that are waiting on me to ship them the comic, I want them to be able to at least read it if they want to.
Yeah.
But, apparently that's schemes and scams. So like I said, I need to send out a poll. I need to let the customers decide.
Yeah.
If they want to read it, then, I'll just send out a poll. I'll promote it and let people make up their own mind if they want it, and then whatever the people decide. Because like I said, I know the people sending me emails and DMs, they're like, don't listen to those idiots. Send me my PDF while you ship these books out.
Right.
And so, but like I said, I got like 40 messages. It was crazy. But like I said, that 40 is just a small chunk of the 2,400.
Right.
So I'm like, even them, they're not speaking for the collective, but it's a decent enough sample size where I go, okay, I see the direction it's leaning in.
Yeah, well, that's why they say whenever you send a letter into some corporation, like one letter usually represents like 1,000 customers, So, usually they take them very seriously.
That's what I'm saying. So like, I need to set up a poll
and
let the fans, let the backers decide. It's like, if you're a physical backer, do you want to just wait till I ship it to you? Or do I would like to just let you guys, because that's one thing I like. That's another thing. Billy Tucci, it doesn't matter if you can buy the digital, but he also is giving away for free the digital to anybody that buys a physical copy of Sheep.
Yeah, I do the same thing.
Yeah, so I was like, I don't see the problem, but I was like, man, people was going hard, and I was like, guys, you've been waiting, and everyone's like, man, I want to read this book, and I'm like, I finally have the book on my computer, I can get it all filed up and everything, and I get it to you. So, but like I said, I want the people, because like I said, we are going to launch Way of the Gun. I want to start fulfilling. It's so many, because we got all these prints to order. There's all kind of stuff that has to come. Like December the 2nd is the last day to back brand. There's so much stuff that has to go into it, and we need to get a final print count to know exactly. Like I said, I got to order stickers and shirts, and that's why we took the T-shirts. I don't know if I'm gonna order, like the T-shirt tier. I just start talking to all these different T-shirt printers and stuff. I was like, okay, that price is okay. I don't know about the quality. And I was like, I don't know if I want to do that one again.
Because they started talking about, okay, well, we're going to charge you per screen, and then
it was that kind of, it drove me nuts because Kanan drew what I considered a grayscale piece. He drew Dark Santana, but it's all black, white, and gray. But one problem is one of the parts on the picture, he's got eyes, and the eyes are red. And then I've got the brand logo, like I got, okay, where it is, right there. So they go, well, there's colors on the brand logo and there's colors in his eyes. So then they were like, if it was just 4 colors, then it's going to be this price. But he said, now you've got all these other colors.
Right.
And I go, damn. Okay. I was being real simple. I was like, maybe I could. He said, well, you could actually make the logo, you can make it gray.
Right.
And I was like, we could do that. I don't know. They were giving me all these different things to kind of maybe come down on the price that they were giving me. Yeah. I was like, I like the way the image looked. It's supposed to have it's supposed to be grayscale, but then the nice little color logo. And I was like, okay, cool. I thought it'd be a cool little shirt. And then I started getting all this flack and telling me about 4 color and how much this and I was like, I'm never doing this again.
Yeah.
I was like, I'm going to ship these shirts out to the people that paid for them. I will never do this again.
Yeah. T-shirt printing is its own little thing. I
mean, I was like, T-shirt printing reminds me of the drug business. It's very corrupt, and what was so fun? And I'm talking about, I talked to great T-shirt printers. I was like, oh no, we want to do this, and Antonio, we think we could do this for you, and blah, blah. And then the price, this person like, oh, we can charge you $14 a shirt, and I go, $14.
Oof, yeah.
I only charged $20 for the shirt,
right?
So, and I was like, and then the shipping, it was so much that was going in. It was like, oh yeah, and then we got to charge you to ship it to you, and or we can fulfill the shirts for you. Fee. They tell me, It's like, It's like, if you give us your list, we can fulfill the shirts for you, but obviously at a small fee.
Yeah.
I was like, wait a minute. Oh God, because some of them are going overseas. They're going to Europe. They're going to Australia and stuff. And I'm like, oh man, I did not realize the can of worms that I opened. I know now. Next campaign, everything's like prints, stickers, stuff like that. Just keep it simple.
So how many colors you got in a shirt? Is it like 3 colors, or is it like?
When they did the math, it was 5, I think.
5, okay.
But like when you keep it at 4, apparently you get a different price point.
Yeah, I mean, also if you have just 2 colors, it's all the less screens you use, the cheaper it's gonna be.
Yeah, because they were doing. Do you want it digital? There was like matte printing or screen press. He was telling me all the different styles. I was like, oh God. Yeah. And then there's a great T-shirt shop about a block and a half, 2 blocks away from my house. I could walk there.
Okay.
And I think they call Rocket Printing. And they gave me, I was like, y'all right here in town. You're in Tennessee, right next to me. And they gave me outrageous prices. Because there was the woman that answered the phone. She was like, she gave me the number. She said, hey, call her. She said, this is my direct line. Call me and we can talk about it. And they said, hey, send me the image and I'll let our people look at it and they can analyze it and all this kind of stuff. So I sent her the high res and they were like, oh yeah, so it's like gray, but it's this, but you've got color on the logo, and then he's got color on his eyes. It's like before it's just gray tones, so you can kind of fake it with a black background on the shirt.
Right.
And then it's like, I didn't realize. Now, I mean, what she was saying was legitimate because I talked to some other companies also, and they were all saying the same thing. So I just didn't realize. I thought that was going to be a simple image because I thought, okay, black shirt. The image is like gray and white. It's just Art Santana, my Santa Claus doppelganger, and sitting there, in like grayscale with some red eyes and then the brand logo. But no, they were like, oh no, you got the blue on the logo. You got this, you got that, you got this. And I was like, oh, no.
Yeah. I've been there.
I didn't realize. So at that point, I told Kane, I said, I'm taking this shit off the campaign. And like, really? They're selling? I was like, the shirts are selling, but I'm taking them off. And then I had people go, hey man, I was about to buy a shirt. I saw you took it off. And so I sent him a private link so he could buy the shirt.
Right.
Because I was like, okay, you better give me $50. I was like, all right, cool. I was like, but I sent him a private link so he could buy because I'm about customer service.
Yeah, of course.
But for the public, the shirts are no longer available.
Yeah.
And I sold like 200 shirts, and I was like, "Oh God, why did I do that? Why did I do that to myself?"
I don't know if you've already settled with a printer. I would suggest to keep looking because if you're gonna do 200 shirts, you probably should only be paying like $6, maybe $7 per shirt.
I think I found someone on my team. They had done some Kickstarters with t-shirts and they had found it. Yeah, I was like, people were giving me outrageous $13, $14, $15 prices. And I was like, why would I give you that kind of money? I can do that. Yeah, like, when you're talking 6 to 8, we can talk a little bit.
Right.
At that point.
I mean, you can do business at that point, but when they like gouging you, they're like, taking 75% of what you're taking in.
I was like, that's the thing, man. I just, it's a pain. But the rest of the stuff I've got great. My homie Elliot Fernandez, he did the sticker set for us. I'm like, the stickers, I can't wait to start shipping these stickers out to everybody. It's like, because I showed him, but he does this like little chibi kind of manga style where he takes the characters and it makes them like kid forms and stuff. So actually, he called me the other day and he was like, so I think I'm using Sticker Mule to do the stickers, and because he had done some with them, and then some people are printing them out of their homes and stuff. They got like sticker machines. I had somebody tell me that for X amount, but it just they couldn't compete with the price that sticker. I was like, if you can give me a better price, I'm always willing to talk. But I was like, no, Sticker Mule sounds like they got, they'll give me a first time customer discount, the whole deal. But what we've decided to do, he called me because he's doing I've got 6 variant covers for Way of the Gun, and he's doing 2 of them behind my head there. And then he's doing one of them. And at that point, I said, you know what? I said, you're doing the variant cover. I said, I think I want a mini monger set number 2. Except this time, I want him to take like some of the characters from the Covenant and some of the villains from my story and take them and do like mini manga versions of them, like mini mongers of the twins, mini mongers of Ji and Yang, mini mongers of Lionel, and I was like, just do it like. And he was like, okay. And so I think we'll do that. I think that because he had fun doing the first set, and like I said, they turned out outstanding. I remember, people thought I was insane when I told them what I was having Elliot. They was like, why would you have Elliot draw them as like little kids and stuff? I was like, I was kind of thinking my mom used to like little Hummel figurines and stuff.
You did the chibi for him.
Yeah. So my mom used to love those like Hummels, and she would look at like the Sears catalog would come and have all the little things and stuff like that. So I don't know. I thought about my mom a lot when I was thinking of some of the things. And so I was like, I kind of want that kind of Hummel figurine look or something. And so he was already doing like the little chibi art just for fun. Let me draw Batman chibi style. Let me draw Superman, Green Lantern, Ghost Rider. He was doing all these and they were so cool. And I asked him to do the brand characters in chibi style. And he was like, are you sure? He said, I just kind of do this to goof off. He said, I sell stickers and magnets at cons like that. People like Magneto with chibi style, that kind of thing. And he's like, I said, I'm positive. That's what I want. I want you to do the brand figures in chibi style. He told me how much, and we, paid him. He did some logo design work for me and all. I mean, love Elliot. He's awesome. Back Doom kicker on Indiegogo, and love that dude. That's my brother.
Yeah, but that's why Pops, the Pops are so popular.
He's a great colorist too, because that's another thing. He not only because I thought I was going to have to pay my colorist to color it, so he did everything. He was like, I'll even color them for you, and it won't be any additional because I know how much my colorist ain't cheap. So I was like, I got like 6 of these stickers, and he's like, I'll color them too. And he colored them, and they're great. Everything that he did was fantastic. And so I was really excited about it. And so now I was like, yeah. He said, yeah, I could come back and do like a sticker set 2 and still, because we've got the pimp character Fame with the magical cane. He could do Fame in chibi style. He could do Wither in chibi style. Like Lionel and the twins. And he's like, I was like, oh man, yeah. I was like, yeah. So we were talking about that the other day, and he's like, okay, that sounds like a pretty good idea. I'm like, so like I said, I've got so many good ideas for Way of the Gun. Just some of it is just fixing some of the mistakes I made on this one. But there won't be any t-shirts. There won't be any t-shirts. All right. Well, JD, this has been fun. I've enjoyed talking to you, and then I think your book looks really fun, and I hope that people will see this come. Like I said, I always enjoy talking to different creators on here. But you've got your social medias and stuff like that. How can people reach out to you if they want to, they want to follow you, they want to learn more about the Oswald Chronicles?
The easiest ways is I have a website. You go to theoswaldchronicles.com. The other way is facebook.com. I'm on Facebook. I'm on Twitter. I'll be honest, I don't use Twitter that much, but it's under JD Calderon. And also Facebook is also JD Calderon. I'm also on DeviantArt. I have 2 accounts on that one. I have JD Calderon and I have the Oswald Chronicles. So you can find me on any of those. And you just always reach out to me if you have any questions about independent publishing. I mean, you're on the high spectrum. I'm on the low spectrum. So if you're,
I still don't think I'm on the. I still don't, like I said, this is dumb luck. I just happen to have a New York Times best-selling author to an artist to that saw my work and was like.
Like, okay. God bless, man. I mean,
yeah.
It's not easy, and listen, I mean, it's fantastic. You know,
it's funny though because I've heard when I've talked to some people, that's their business plan. I'm going to create my campaign, and Ethan Van Sciver is going to put me on, and we're going to make money.
Yeah, that's
like. You gotta have a bigger plan than that, bro. Because Ethan feels bad because he's talked about that. He feels like certain people that's they don't have any plans to promote the book. Right. They don't have anything. Their whole thing is I'm gonna put the campaign up and Ethan's gonna love it, and I'm gonna make money.
That's not how it works.
That's not how it works.
I've been at it for a long, long time, and that's
not to mention he's said this. I know there were a couple of projects he promoted that the audience was like, "Yeah, that sucks. I'm not buying that." And he was like, "Hey, you guys didn't go for it." He said, "People think I have more power than what I have." He said, "I do have the power to put your project in front of thousands and thousands of eyes, but it may not." You may not be agreeable. Like they can see you and they may not like you. They may think your art's good, but they think you're kind of a jerk. So I don't want to spend money. You know what I'm saying? There's all kind of different things that make me, that's why I kind of try to do these and not just talk about the book. I want to talk to you and let people kind of relax and get to know you as a person. And then they go, "Oh, JD seems like a good guy. I'm going to buy his book."
Well, actually, if you get to know me, you'll find out I'm a jerk real quick.
Oh no! Oh well, all right. Well, that's not good. Darn, man, done all this work and
I know. It's like, oh, he blew it.
Damn, the jig is up.
Yeah, I know.
Still back to Oswald Chronicles. But like I said, man, you seem like you have a good sense of humor, and your birds seem to like you. They seem to be fed.
Yeah.
They're not like clawing their eyes out trying to get out of the cage or anything. But no, I've enjoyed the conversation. I appreciate you coming on. Is there anything you would like to say? Maybe tell the people why they should back the Oswald Chronicles.
The reason I feel people should, if you want to experience like a story that's told from a unique perspective of a mouse who's becoming a sorcerer right from the beginning, that's a magical adventure. I mean, this is an adventure story, and it's not just for kids. I know you're going to see a mouse, but you're going to see some stuff in this thing that you're going to be like, hey, he went a little bit, where I didn't think he was going to go. And I think people will enjoy that aspect of it. And here's the other thing. You don't have, like I said, if you back this book, it's going to be to help me continue this story. But if you just want to read the story, you can go to my website. You can go to the OswaldChronicles.com. It's all there. You can go read it. Go enjoy it. I want you to. You understand? The key for me is I want to spread this out. I want as many people to see it as possible. If you see it for free, I don't have a problem with that. You understand? But if you want to see it in the way it's meant to be done, you'll pick up some of the books. You'll help out. And I really appreciate that. So please, check out the work, help if you want, share the links, please, as many people as come in that want to see it, please, by all means, come check it out. Like I said, money for me is fuel. It's just fuel to push the engine forward. That's all that is for me. I'm not going to, I'm not going to take a vacation on your money. I'm not going to pay my bills on it. I'm literally, it's going to go right out to Jade. It's going to go out to Carlos. It's going to go out to Donnie. It's going to go out to all these guys. It's not, the only thing I get is this is my hobby. You understand? And I love it. I love creating comics. I love creating, telling unique stories. And I just love doing this stuff. And I just want to share it, with as many people as possible.
I love it, man. That's a great answer. And you sent me a couple of the PDFs to check out, man. Like I said, I thought the book looked really cool. And I think hopefully you can get on a couple more shows and just keep promoting. I think you'll be all right. Indiegogo is a different beast. That's why I was like, that's the thing. People like screw Kickstarter, and I was like, Kickstarter sells a lot of comics, man. I hate to say it because that's the the Billy Tucci She thing is a perfect example of that. He launched them both at the same time. He's got like almost triple the amount of sales on Kickstarter that he does. Now, obviously, I know I heard Ethan Van Sciver saying that he was going to have Billy Tucci on. Now, I will say that. Now, if he gets on Ethan's channel, which they've been bros for like a quarter century, I see no reason why that won't happen. But he'll have Billy on. And then, because I remember he was on when he had Zombie Sama, and within like 2 hours, they had raised like 20 grand. Wow. Just like that. So then you will see the dynamic shift. You will see the Indiegogo all of a sudden and then they'll put it in the trending section, because that's one thing I noticed. When brands started to sell and they put you in the trending, you start getting all them little extra. You want to be in that trending section, like, hi, this is the hottest comics in the comic section right now. And I was like, I want, when someone goes to like trending comics, they want to see brand in the top 3. They put those little thumbnails up there. But right now, there's some new books out and I'm not there. But but like when the campaign was live and I kept being in the trending, I was like, yeah, because it's driving. And then they mail you out in the newsletter and all that kind of stuff. That's cool, Kickstarter has this thing where they do projects we love. Right. And like if they do projects we love, then they send you out in the newsletter, which is huge. Yeah. That was one of the things I remember when Doug TenNapel launched Earthworm Jim. And once they hit a certain benchmark, and he said someone from Indiegogo reached out to him and they were like, hey, we're going to mail this out in the letter. Right. When they mail you out in the letter, that's a large, you know what I'm saying? It was like, that's big. When they say we're going to feature you in the newsletter, then the sales will, because I mean, over 816,000, I think he did. Yeah, I was like, but yeah, because he told me before they mailed it, he said, yeah, Indiegogo about to put me in the newsletter, and I was like, I would like that. I would like them to go, hi, Antonio, brand is doing very well. We want to mail your campaign out. Please send it out. Yeah. Because I know they take care of Ethan. They like, Ethan making us money. We're going to send his stuff. I was like, I want them to send, but so far they're not doing that yet. But one day I will get there.
You'll get there, man. You'll get there. Hopefully we all will,
Yeah, that's the thing. Hopefully, like you say, you got crawl before you can walk. I'm a no one. I'm not anyone famous or anything. So I understand I haven't worked at DC or got any TV shows or created anything yet. But maybe 5-10 years from now, I'll have an agent. They'll be like, Antonio, so you're doing another brand book. Let's get you launched right. We're gonna feature you on the page. We're gonna do all that, because they can do that. Like Indiegogo, they be like, hey, these are the hot new projects right now. They'll pick, they'll put. There was a thing I saw on there called the Flow Hive a couple years ago. It was, and I'm interested in beekeeping, and it's like the Flow Hive. The bees build the honey in there, and then they turn the knob and then the honey comes out the back. Yeah, it's real cool. So you don't have to smoke them. You don't have to go and do all that kind of stuff. So yeah, you just stick the little thing in, you turn it, put the spout out there, and it just pours the honey out. And then you seal it back up, and then the bees just go, oh, you robbed us, and then they just fill it back up again. And one guy, I watch his YouTube channel, and the bees, they kept building. He was getting like twice the honey production out of them because they realized that I didn't know the bees use like vibration in the hive. So like the honey, the full honey caps, they give off one vibration. So once you use the Flow Hive and you crank that and you pour it out, all of a sudden when they vibrate, the sound's different. So they know it's empty. So then they have to tear all the honey caps off and they have to fill it back up again. Right. But he was getting like twice or almost 3 times the honey production. They're like, oh, the guy robbed us, and they had to go back and fill it back up again. And he was like, this is great, man. He's like, these bees are working hard. And so, so he was getting, but the Flow Hive thing, they raised think they raised like $5 million on Indiegogo doing that. It was crazy. And so yeah, they put Flow Hive. That's why I'm just saying Jim Lee was on Indiegogo with a backpack with like Batman drawn on it or something. It was, and I was looking and I was like, how did they raise? They raised like $80,000, and I was like, it's a backpack. It was like a little bag or something so he could carry his art supplies and stuff in. And he was like, hi. Yeah, he was like, hello, everyone. I'm Jim Lee. I'm an artist for DC Comics. And then all of a sudden you can put it on your back like, he's like, I've got my tab. He said, I travel a lot and I always have to carry my art supplies. And I was looking, I was like, are you really selling a backpack? Are you this is like a carry-on bag? And I'm telling you, they raised all kind of money and Indiegogo put it out there. And I was just like, oh God, it is and Perth Comics, you are right. Flow Hive is an Aussie invention. It was the creators of Flow Hive, although now that they're definitely Aussie. I'm subscribed to the Flow Hive channel because I just like watching them. Oh, look at that great golden honey. Oh, and they're just cranking, and the bees are just chilling because you don't have to. I've noticed. I watch. The character in Brand is a beekeeper.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, David Craven's a beekeeper. So I was doing a bunch of research, and I almost had Kanan draw flow hives in the book, but I was just like, no, just put some Langstroth's hive because Kanan. I was starting explaining to him about the bees, and he was getting all. I could tell he didn't understand.
Right.
I was explaining. I was like, no. He's like, okay, yeah, he's a beekeeper. I was like, no, Kanan, you don't understand. He like takes the bees out on missions and he fight. And he was like, okay, that sounds cool. I was like, but they're different bees. I want them to be special and do all this. And he was just like, he's okay, I'm not gonna lie to you. I don't really understand bees. I don't know. And I started sending him all these videos and stuff. And he was like, at first he told me, he said, you send me the beekeeping videos. And he said, I'm gonna be honest. He said, I thought that was so boring. He said, I watched a couple of them. He said, next thing I know, he said, I was drawing and I was listening to him while I was drawing. He said, it was actually kind of interesting. I was like, but he admitted to me, like, this beekeeping is the dumbest thing I ever heard in my life. I don't understand. And he drew, I said, hey, draw the different bees. I said, they're kind of like hybrid bees because they're like alien bees, but they're mixed with like normal earth bees.
Right.
And so he drew this bee and it had like 4 antennas and stuff. And I was like, what are you doing? He's like, you said it was like alien bee. I was like, not alien like from outer space. I was like, they're different though. They're different. They're from like a different dimension. But he can control. And he figured out. He drew all these bee designs because the bees had extra arms and stuff. And he's like, Antonio, do he really have to have the bees? I don't understand. He thought the whole thing, and he'll tell you like some of the scenes in the beginning of the book where David's out there in the beehives, and he was having to draw the bees on the little. You pull out the little sheets with the honey and stuff. He hated that because he was like, man, I got to draw all these damn bees flying around and stuff. And he knows there's more bees, but he was like, oh, okay. But he saw where I was going with the story. Right. I gave him. There's other things like. There's a scene like David transforms and he opens his cape, and then all the bees, he's got like a void in his cape. Right. And it's like a dark dimension or something. So like he opens his cape up and then all the bees fly in, and he was like, oh, that's cool. And he did stuff like that, and those were like real cool visuals. Right. And so he was like, yeah, but I hate drawing all the bees. But now he understands. He was like, he gets it now. He didn't get it then. But he didn't when we first came in and we started working together and he was developing the characters' looks and all that kind of stuff. He's like, yeah, that looks cool. That looks cool. What's with the bees? And he didn't get it. So it was like, but now he understands. Like I said, Kane is on board now. He's 100% on the board with the bees now. But he still said, hey, I gotta be honest, I really don't like drawing all these bees.
But yeah, no artist likes to do the repeat stuff.
That's it. But he does some digital cheats on a couple of them where he showed me the little thing. He draw like 1 or 2 different bees, and then he rubs it, and then it just spreads it all over, and it just keeps multiplying. I was like, oh, I see. And so he doesn't have to keep drawing because he was like, that's a pain in the ass drawing all those bees, man. But yeah, but either way, that's like I said, I enjoyed. Now I have my whole story on my on my computer, and it's finally getting edited, and we can get everything set up to go print. I am finally excited to go to the end of this, and like I said, work on the next story. And
printing here in the US or you printing overseas?
What you say?
You're printing it here in the US or overseas?
I was definitely leaning on Print Ninja, but some people have reached out to me and showed me some other companies that might be able to give me at least a competitive price. It doesn't have to be as cheap as Print Ninja. I would like to get a quicker turnaround if possible. So there's another company that I actually talked to their rep, and they sent me a package and all that stuff, and it looks okay. We're going to talk again. So the guy's name, his name's Steve. Thank you, Steve. I liked you. But yeah, the object is to that's the goal, to get the books back, and sometime within the next few weeks. That would be awesome.
Because that's the one thing about sending out to China, to take a couple months.
Yeah, that's another reason why I said the thing about the PDF, and then I bought the digital as well. So you're ripping me off, and I was like, no, I didn't know you were going to buy the digital.
Right.
But most people didn't buy the digital. Like I said, I've sold less than 200 of them.
Right.
So the 2,400 people that back Brand, over 2,200 of them bought physical comics. So that's why I was like, while the book is printing, they can read the PDF if they choose to. No one's forcing you to read it. It's like Pandora's box. You don't have to open it.
Right.
But it's just like some people told me, Tonio, you put the PDF out for the preview. I don't think I'm going to read it. I was like, okay, you don't have to read it.
Yeah,
that's fine. That's totally fine. Appreciate you backing. There you go.
Right, exactly. Thank you.
But I don't know. It was like I said, but those people that do want it, which thousands and thousands and thousands of people ended up reading it. And we were just in Dread Central. That's a big website. I did not realize how big Dread Central's huge. They've they had like major money investors, and back in it, they did a feature on me and Kanan. It was awesome. And I was like, yay! I was like, the guy, one of the reporters over there, he saw the book and he was like, oh, I read your preview. It's really cool. He's like, can you do the interview? And I was like, yes, we can definitely do an interview. I was like, yeah. So that's the kind of interest that I want to, obviously want to continue that. So,
of course.
But hopefully, it sounds like you've got your story all set up, Oswald Chronicles. Like I said, you sound like you got multiple volumes set up and ready to go, or whatever, or beginnings of. So I guess, hey, get in there, support JD. JD is cool peoples. I like JD, and hopefully you guys will check out the Oswald Chronicles. Like I said, the link is in the description. Check it out. JD Calderon, thank you so much for being here today. This has been fun. You're easy to talk to, and your bird seems fun.
Yeah, they're awesome.
Yeah, man. It's like, tell your birds to back Brand, and back early, back often, and there you go. But guys, we're gonna get out of here. As of course, if you want to reach out to me, I'm on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and right here on this YouTube channel. Everywhere is at Akari Press. And if you type in akaripress.com, it will take you directly to my Indiegogo campaign for my comic book series Brand with the phenomenal Kanan White, who hates drawing bees. We are on Teespring. We're on Amazon.com. The links to those are in the description. The Oswald Chronicles. JD Calderon, we're out.